Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our morning talk here at Formnext 2021. It is day 2 of the exhibition, and I have dear guests here on my stage, which I would like to introduce to you first. It is Rainer Lotz, welcome here on stage, President EMEA at Renishaw and head of the Exhibitors Advisory Board. And welcome to you as well, Dr. Markus Hering, Managing Director of the Additive Manufacturing Working Group at VDMA. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is day 2, and I see a lot of smiling faces here in the halls. Is the impression right? Are the exhibitors happy with Formnext 2021?
Yeah, we are absolutely happy. We have been surprised yesterday that it starts so early and so quick in the morning. So the doors open at 9 o'clock, and we have received the first guests immediately after that. So really pretty good. A lot of people are there. Also good. The message what I received from our members was they had a lot of intensive discussions, meetings, a lot of good guests. A lot of business has been done. So successful first day. Really good.
Rainer, the same impression for you?
I think we have to be honest, under the current circumstances, we didn't really know what to expect. So when the morning started really quick, a lot of people came in, and I have to say we were amazed about yesterday morning, the fast start of the show, and also the quality of the people coming in, because they really came in with a clear interest, projects, concrete discussions. So it was a very quick start and a very, very good start.
Because obviously an exhibition is not only about having fun and smiling faces, it's all about business. And at the end of the day, that is the question. Is the business mood okay in the additive manufacturing world? What is your impression, Markus?
It is. We do usually twice per year a survey. So we're asking all of our members what is their expectation in business and how has been the last 6 months. And the last fall survey in October said it's similar to the situation what we had in 2019, so before Corona. 80% of the members expected an increase in business for the next 2 years. And also the foreign markets are increasing. So of course Europe is the most important market for our members, but followed by US, strong increase in the US market, expectation in that. And also China is coming up a little bit. So yeah, it's really good mood there, and they expect a good situation. And we have seen the Corona crisis, so the 2 years in between, there we have seen a really coming down in the business climate. But now it's coming back to what we had before, and the expectations are good.
Do you agree, Rainer?
Absolutely, the mood is fantastic. We have a constantly growing business. And to remember, we had like 2020, many projects have been paused, sort of. And we see many of these projects, they're reactivated now. So the growth is fed by the regular growth coming back to the 2019 level, but additionally on top we see many projects reactivated, and that's very, very positive.
Yesterday I was astonished by the big number of different languages you could hear here in the aisles. I didn't expect so many international guests to be here at Formnext this year. That was a surprise, right?
Yeah, a little bit. We have spoken before the exhibition started about that, and we expected there will be a lot of visitors from Europe. So that we have seen within the last month that business and travel within Europe is coming back, and it's the case here. But we also see a lot of Americans here. That was a little bit surprise for me. And of course, we also have to say what we are missing is a little bit our guests from Asia. But that we thought before that for them would not be possible to travel to Europe. So yeah, but I can confirm we have seen a lot of international guests.
But for them, for the AM community in Asia, we have our digital offering. So that's why we're doing this today. For example, Formnext TV is a way to communicate to the people who are not here in the hall. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to carry on with that. Talking about digital offerings and broadcasts, that's what we did the last 1.5 years. Rainer, was that appropriate to keep the community alive?
I think we all learned very fast how to deal with it. So it doesn't matter whether it was webinars, it was online discussions, everybody's using from everywhere teams. So we learned fast, and I think there was a good communication being kept up on online. But at the end of the day, we also realized we got a bit tired of it. So the face-to-face contact is missing. And if you want to sweat details, it's much better to do that face-to-face. We, for instance, also, we have a conference of application engineers here while there is Formnext, because even so these people work excellent online, but the face-to-face gives a different intensity, different creativity, and therefore it was about time to come back to normal. I don't think that all the digital lessons learned will be forgotten now, not at all. We will continue in a kind of hybrid world, I would say, but we know now we need exhibitions, good exhibitions for good discussions, and we need the face-to-face contact to partners, to customers, also to foreign colleagues.
And it's, by the way, it's a good feeling to be here in person and to wear a suit again, and a tie in your case, because the, 1.5 years in pyjama and jumper, okay, that was nice and comfy, but I think that is better now, right?
No, I think it's a good sign. It's back to normal. As you already said, traveling is coming back inside Europe. We see more and more normalization of business travel, and that's good. And I think our mindset is coming back to normal. And it's also, I think it's important in these days, looking at the positive aspects of business, of life, and not only focusing, on the pandemic and on these, we have more facets in life, and we have to have a balanced view on all this. And I think it's how we're sitting here, we demonstrate we're back to normal, and we're with the mindset, it's not lost through the pyjama phase. We're back in full power, and that's good.
And I think that is true for all of the exhibitors here. They are really setting a sign that we are starting again, that we are back in the race again, and the business seems to be positive, as you said. But I heard also yesterday in the many talks I had with the exhibitors, there is kind of a drawback, because the difficulties in the supply chains are affecting the AM community as well, like we have in the machine construction area, like we have in the plastics section, where the companies do not have enough material components to finalize their machine building processes. What is the impact on the AM community?
I think we see a similar impact than on other industries. It starts obviously with the electronic components. As you can imagine, in a printer you have many electronic components, and there is a shortage. And if you look at the printing community, you have a lot of small and medium-sized businesses, and if they need an Intel chip, they're probably not on top of the list in terms of delivery. They're not visible for these big component manufacturers, and there are problems, and it's delaying the growth at the moment. Most companies I speak to, they find their way in surviving, in finding the basic level on components they need, but it's slowing down the growth, there is no doubt.
Mm-hmm. When will that improve, Markus? Do you have a clue?
Good question. I don't know.
Crystal ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us, Markus.
I will try. So now, what we see, it's in mechanical engineering, we see it more or less in each section, that we have problems with delivering components, but also with raw materials. On the metal sheet, we have it with paper. Maybe you have read that paper is the prices are increasing. We have it with plastic, so we have it everywhere. Everything is connected to each other, and we hope that maybe next year it's becoming a little bit better and back to normal, but nobody knows really. And it's a problem. It's not just that some components are not able to deliver. It's also the increase of raw materials what makes it difficult, because
the price increase?
Yeah, because the problem for machine manufacturers is you have to make a price offer to your customer, and then you see that the raw material, the price is increasing 200, 300, 400% sometimes, and how you can calculate that, it's a real challenge.
That can screw your business, right?
Absolutely. So it's a challenge for the industry, and we hope that it's coming soon back to normal life, but nobody knows.
I think that is one of the sentences we most hear at the exhibition. Back to normal. That is what everybody wishes for, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we see a tendency, a procedure where better than normal, I would say soon, as it looks like if we get our hands on successfully on the supply chain, which I think in spring will look much better than we look today. But I think we'll be better than before crisis because you see many companies in terms of digitization, in terms of developing new ideas, they geared up during the pandemic. And that's very positive. So I think there are many companies I see here, they're on a much higher quality than they have been before pandemic, and they're much more competitive. You know, and that's a good thing. So I believe it's not really only back to normal, it's back to be better, and that looks good.
There is one thing I heard, that there is a specialty in the AM community this year, or maybe especially here at the Formnext, that even small companies, startup companies, are able to build up relationships to bigger, very important players in the market. And that is not common in other industries, but it seems to be here in the AM industry. What kind of relationships are going on at the moment between startups and traditional companies?
I think, let's remember, it's still a very young industry compared to other industries where we look at a 100-year history. And there, indeed, you see very interesting partnerships of very small startups and very well-established big industrial companies. And these startups, they do bring very good ideas in. And obviously, they get a safe harbor, I would say, to realize their ideas in a partnership with a bigger industrial partner. And you're absolutely right, in 3D printing, there is more, everybody, the small ones and the big ones, are more open to partner up with each other than in a traditional industry, there is no doubt.
But I remember my time in the industry, and I very well remember the struggles we had with quality assurance, with certificates and stuff, and we needed to prove our capabilities of delivering quality to those big OEMs. Is that forgotten now?
No.
How do the young and fresh companies cope with these requirements?
Maybe it's a change in mindset, what we see with the big OEMs. And we see, I have to say, at VDMA, we see it also in other sections. So we created a platform, called it Startup Machine, to bring together startups and well-established OEMs. And that is where innovation takes place, in this connection between startups and the others. And if you look to an industry, and as Rainer mentioned before, we are an absolute young industry as additive manufacturing, as 3D printing. There it's more or less normal that we have the combination between startups and well-established. But if you would like to have a growing industry, an innovative industry, you need the combination of well-established and of young startups. Because one alone is not able to bring up an industry. It's both have to come together, and that is what we see here. And if we look 5, 7, 10 years back, we had a lot of startups and just a few well-established companies. And nowadays it's a perfect mixture of both. And that is the bottom what you need to grow up as an industry.
And I have the impression that the big boys are really liking to cooperate with the young ones, right? Because that refreshes the industry some kind.
And bring up new ideas, that is what you need. So if you just sit together as an OEM, you are not as flexible and as innovative as young and startups are. So this is the combination, and that is what also the big companies knows.
I mean, obviously, new ideas always made you overthink your old way of working. And these young, fresh people bring new ideas in, and you know, you reflect and think, that's actually a good idea. Would I want to apply this way of working also to other more traditional segments? What's also supporting this partnership, to be honest, is how the market is segmented, because we have customers, they enjoy to be early adopters. And so the customers are willing, with the startup together with a larger industrial company, to work with this partnership to develop applications further. And there is a segment of customers they're willing to adopt early. Then you obviously have other areas. If you go in serial production for medical, there you need certification. There is no way around the certification, which is good, I think, for all of us if we get an implant. And the same, obviously, for aerospace or automotive. And there, obviously, the established industrial companies can help the startups. How do I get this kind of certification that I can offer what I have to offer?
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your insight. It is so good talking to you, and I think it's a good start in this day 2 of the exhibition here at Formnext in Frankfurt. Thanks a lot. Rainer Lotz, thank you
very much.
As well, Dr. Markus Hering.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.